Hello there once again. This is Earl Bryant coming at you from the New York City suburbs of Long Island, aka Strong Island, with another edition of Pearls from Earl. It is my mission to educate, edify, and encourage excellence in every area of your life. Today's Pearl is called The Fork in the Road. Take it. It's inspired by the late baseball philosopher and Hall of Famer Yogi Berra, who famously said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Now, there are some people who thought that what he said was kind of silly, but if you actually give it some thought, you'll realize that he was making a lot of sense. And to illustrate what kind of sense it makes, I'm going to tell you a little story. December 23rd, 2011, I was checked into an urgent care facility in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had a ringing headache. I had a persistent cough that just would not quit. The pounding sensation in my head was so great that it felt like a combination of a jackhammer and a sledgehammer all at the same time. The blood in my body was throbbing and racing through my head, which intensified the pain even more. And my numbers were not good. My pulse was hovering around triple digits, which made the blood that was racing through me feel like I was at the Indy 500. My blood pressure looked like an out-of-control basketball score. It was 170 over 110. And let's just say that if I was 6'8", 6'10", 7 feet tall or higher, 260 pounds might not be so bad. It might actually look trim, might look athletic, might look like you're well put together. But slap 260 pounds on someone who's 5 feet 8 and 1/4 inches, and you're telling a different story. I was in some bad shape. My hands and my feet were swollen, badly swollen, to the point where they looked like little balloons, the kinds that you see at children's birthday parties. I had fluid retention in my lower extremities. I had fluid built up around my ankles and my wrists. My legs, from the knees down, looked like tree trunks from all the fluid buildup. My face was shaped around like a pie. And I felt so much pressure that I felt like I was going to explode. The doctor who attended me looked over my chart and asked me one simple question. Did you take a decongestant? I said, yes, I had. And she said to me, don't ever do that again. Because that's what made my blood pressure spike like a gusher in a Texas oil field. And then she said something to me which I will never forget for the rest of my life. She looked straight into these eyes and said these words, and I quote, "Sir, you are a candidate for a stroke." It hit me like a ton of bricks. You see, the significance of that date, December 23rd, 2011, that was my father's 76th birthday. At the time, I had a 14-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. I was not yet 50 years of age, but hearing those words from that doctor was very sobering, because it told me that if things kept going the way that they were going, there was a very strong possibility I was going to be buried by my father and my son before I turned 50. I was not going to be around much longer. I was not going to be around to see my kids, to love my kids, to take care of my kids. And my kids are my heart. I am a dad. I love being with my kids. They know it. I know it. The highlight of my day was being with my children. So when the doctor told me those sobering words, she actually did me a favor, because what she told me basically was that I had reached a fork in the road, and it was a decision that I had to make, and I could not put it off. And I had two choices. I could take a Vegas-style crapshoot approach, just keep doing things the way that I've been doing them, even though they got me to that point, and take a risk that everything would work itself out and everything would be fine, and that I wouldn't risk being permanently horizontal. My other option was to take a good, hard look at the way I'd been living, see what hadn't been working, and decide that I needed to make some changes. And they weren't going to be easy changes to make, but they were necessary. I decided I needed to make some changes. Shortly after that, I went to visit another doctor who just tried to put me on meds and figured we'd get the symptoms under control and just keep me on a merry-go-round. And I told him that the best thing to do was to find out what was actually causing the problem and see if we could address that and take care of that issue, so that everything else, the symptoms, would be resolved. Now, we kind of had a tug-of-war back and forth about that, but there was a turning point when he asked me about my eating habits, supplements, what I eat on a regular basis, food and drink, the whole nine. And I told him that I'd had people tell me that when your blood pressure is high, just cut down on your salt. And he said, well, judging from the numbers that I see here, sodium is not your problem. There's got to be something else. So we started talking about different things I was eating and drinking, and I got around to something I drank at the time called sweet tea. Well, he said something that got my attention. He said, well, you do know sweet tea does expand your waistline. When you're weighing 260 pounds and you're looking for any way to make some kind of a change that's going to make a significant difference, you will latch on to something like that and hang on for dear life. I heard what the man said. He said, sweet tea expanded the waistline. My waistline, I desperately wanted to slim down. I said, all right, that's off the list. I made a decision. I said, okay, no more sweet tea. That was about 6.5 years ago. I haven't had sweet tea since. I was drinking water. I drink the occasional soda, and I do mean occasional. I stopped drinking Coke and Pepsi back in 2004. I haven't had one since, and don't miss it. I might drink Sprite occasionally. I might drink a ginger ale, but nothing beyond that. But instead of drinking sweet tea, I'd make myself cups of hot green tea, because I found out green tea was healthy. I drink green tea with lemon, green tea with a little bit of sugar, green tea with a little bit of honey, whatever I felt like drinking. Do you know, 4 months after that visit at urgent care, right around my birthday, I stepped on a scale. I had lost 40 pounds. I was halfway to where I wanted to be, but I was headed in the right direction. There were still some tough choices to make, some tough decisions that I had to make and stick with, and they weren't going to be easy, but I had to commit to them, I had to make them, I had to get it done. 8 months later, exactly 12 months after I got that grim diagnosis from the doctor, I stepped on the scale and realized I had lost 72 pounds. So I was only 8 pounds away from my goal. But I was still in very good shape because I had made some necessary changes. I had to change some relationships that were putting a lot of stress on me and making things very difficult on me. And it wasn't easy, but I had to stick to it, I had to commit to it, and I found a way to get it done. And things haven't been perfect since that time, because it's been about 6 years, but they're a lot better now than they were at that time. So that is basically what I'm saying to you, is that I had to come to my own personal fork in the road, and I had to make a decision. When Yogi told people, come to fork in the road and take it, what he was saying was make a decision and stick to that decision. Well, that's what I had to do, even though it wasn't easy and it wasn't popular, and there were some people who didn't necessarily agree with it and didn't like it, but it really didn't matter because it was my life, it was at stake, and I had to do what was right for me. Now, I share that story with you to tell you this. You might be watching me right now, listening to what I just said, and you might be at your own personal fork in the road. It could be a relationship issue, it could be a financial issue, it could be a business issue, a career issue, a personal issue, it could be something that's going on in your life where you find yourself waking up one day and saying, how did I get here? How did I let this happen? What can I do to turn this thing around? Well, I can tell you somehow, some way, when you get to that fork in the road, you have to find a way to make that decision and make it stick. Because it's going to be tough. I'm telling you right now, you will not be able to sugarcoat it. You won't be able to go through the motions and pretend it's okay. Make a decision, stick to the process, commit to your outcome. Somehow, some way, people, places, circumstances are going to come to your life and come to your aid, and they're going to help you to push through to get to your goal and to make that decision stick and to make it work for you. So my lesson to you, my pearl for you today is, when you come to your own personal fork in the road, take it. And you will be so glad you did. It's been my honor and my privilege to share this with you. This is just one of many techniques and mindset strategies that have been reinforced to me over the past few years, especially by a community of entrepreneurs that I have had the privilege of meeting and getting to know, who have not only shared with me strategies and techniques that would help me in business, but would help me in relationships, with mindset, with every single area of my life. If you would like to know more about this group of people that I've had the privilege to meet, if you're on Facebook, put in the comments that you would like to know more, ask for more information, and I'll be sure to get in touch with you. If you're on YouTube watching this, check the link down below this video and click on that link, and you'll be taken directly to a site where you'll be introduced to this community of people who are helping me to become the best that I can be. And if you act right now, you have an opportunity to take a test drive with this community for 10 days for only $10, and to see if what this community has to offer is a fit for you and will work for you. Now, if you got some value out of what I just shared with you, give it a like. If you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Put in the comments that you enjoyed it. I really would appreciate hearing from you. And if you know somebody who can benefit from this, please don't be shy. Share this information with them so they can also benefit from it just as you have. This has been Pearls from Earl, and right now I'm signing off with you. It's been my privilege to come at you and share a little insight with you from the New York City suburbs of Long Island. And until I see you again right back out there, you have a great day and you take care. Make it a great weekend. Bye for now.